Hello everyone, my name is Shannon and this is Jinjo Stitches. Welcome back to my Flosstube channel. If you're new here, Flosstube is the corner of YouTube where we talk about cross stitch and everything cross stitch related. So today, for my second video, I thought I would do a finish parade and show you everything that I've finished up until this point in my cross stitching. So I've got about, I think there's like 10 or 12 finishes to show today. And at the end, I'll also just give a little update on any progress I've made since the last video, which I think was about 2 weeks ago. So I'm just going to jump right into it. This is the very first piece that I ever cross stitched, and it is very tiny, and it was a gift for my boyfriend at the time, or fiance now. And this is what we looked like at the time. I used to be blonde, and it was absolutely tiny. So this was for Christmas of 2017, so I stitched it probably in November of 2017. Just a little tiny self-drafted pattern. There was heaps of tutorials around this time for how to self-draft your own little family figures, and I didn't even like backstitch our names at the bottom or anything, so yeah. Like I said, that was 2017, so that was the very first piece I ever did. And after that, I didn't cross stitch again for another 2 years. And when I did pick it back up, I started working on this piece, which was my second ever finish, which is this Howl's Moving Castle piece, which was just gorgeous. I love this piece so much. Oh, my chair's spinning. So this pattern was actually a free pattern that I found on Reddit. It was drafted by Novocaine Doll, and the actual pixel art, the source image, was from someone called Mitch Leo. So that pattern is still available on Reddit. I'll see if I can find a link and I'll pop it down below. This was so much fun to stitch. So lots of chunks of all one color, but the shading is just so well done. So I absolutely loved this, and you can even see on the back, I started around here, around the center here, and you can see when I first started I was knotting my thread. I've got knots on the back there, but as I progressed it got nicer and nicer. So you can see how bad that middle section is when I started, but it did improve. So I absolutely love that. My very first big piece, the piece that got me into cross stitching. Absolutely love it. I think it's on 18 count white Ada. Alright, after that piece, I decided to start learning to stitch on even weave. So this is, well, not even weave, linen. This was the next piece that I did, and it is a bowl of ramen. Again, this was found on Reddit. This one was done by Comfort Noise, and I will see if I can find a link and I'll pop that below as well. Same sort of deal as the Howl's Moving Castle, where there's just big chunks of all the same color, and it's not too complex, no back stitching or anything like that, which made it really quick to stitch up. I really enjoyed stitching this one. Now most of them I like to frame in the hoop just because it's a lot easier, and I'm really lazy, so I just glue it down with hot glue and put a backing fabric over it, which I know is bad, but I just don't care. And for this one, I did also glue some chopsticks on there, just because I thought it was very cute. Oh my god. That was thunder. You definitely heard that. It's storming here. Alright, my next finish, excuse the interruption, was this little sitting link with Navi. Super, super cute. Now, unfortunately, I don't know the designer for this one because the Etsy store that I did purchase it from is now gone. And when I did buy it, I noticed there was a couple of places that were selling this exact pattern. So something was going on there, something not quite right. So unfortunately, and I did try and find the source image to see if I could find who originally made this art, and I just couldn't find it anywhere. So unfortunately, I don't have a designer for this one, but it is very cute. I believe the fairy was actually a healing fairy, a pink fairy, but I changed it to be blue. All right, so the next piece, this is where my stitching sort of slowed down. So all of those pieces were through 2019 and 2020 that I just showed. This is where I slowed down because this is where we bought our house, me and my fiance. And this is what I stitched to go on the wall when we moved in. So this is the house from Animal Crossing, little home sweet home hoop. It's incredibly cute. This was by Sarah Davidson Art, and this is on 18 count Ada that I dyed myself. This is where I sort of started logging dates. So this one I started on in April 2020, and I finished this on the 25th of June 2020. All per the pattern, except in the fossil here, I actually used some silver thread, which you can't really see, but it's a little bit sparkly. So really, really big fan of this one. I just think it's so cute. I dyed the Ada using a tie-dye kit that I had, so I wasn't able to wash this one, I believe, because I didn't want my white stitches in the house running with that dye. So I wasn't able to grid it either, but this is before I really started to grid. Now the next one that I've already showed before, but I'll show it again, is this little Princess Peach stained glass piece. This is by Make It Pink on 18 count Ada, and this is the one that I actually began on 32 count even weave before realizing I'd cut the piece wrong. I'd cut it for 36 count even weave and it wasn't going to work. I love the way these patterns are charted. Make It Pink, Ashley, she charts beautiful, beautiful charts. Lots of quarter stitches and fractionals and lots of back stitching, and they're just so well done. Stitching this was so much fun. So I started that one on the 19th of June 2020 and finished on the 11th of July 2020. Now this next piece is interesting. This is Girl with the Pearl Earring, but it is actually only stitched in 4 colors, which you can't really see, but I did get a picture to pull up. So this one is stitched only in, let's see, there we go, blue, green, yellow, and red, and black, and the whites I left blank. So this was actually self-drafted from a website called Quechetti, or Quechetti, I'm not sure how you say it, it's Italian. And they actually make these peg boards with colored pegs that you can put in them, and they have these free charts online to make these pictures with their pegboards. Really easy to adapt to cross stitch patterns, and they are all only using those primary colors plus green and black because that's the colors of pegs that they sell. So you can make any image on their website into a cross stitch pattern really easily. Now it looks in that picture, because it's so high def, you can see all the different colors, but if you hold it back or you stand back a little ways, it just has that magic eye effect and it turns into just the painting. I love it. I think it's great. No idea how to frame it yet because it's rectangle. Same issue with the Howl's Moving Castle one, where I don't know yet how I'm going to do it. I've never framed anything myself except for in hoops, so we'll have to figure it out. So that one I started on the 14th of July 2020 and finished up on the 2nd of September 2020. So the next one is this embroidery. This is not cross stitch, obviously, but I wanted to include it anyway. So this is the album art for a Porter Robinson album called Worlds. And this is all hand embroidered. So I painted the fabric. This is just a cotton duck. I painted it with some gouache, and then like watered down gouache, and then hand embroidered this on. It's really shiny. I love it. It's just DMC floss, but it's got a lovely shimmer when you embroider with them. So that was, because it's embroidery, a lot quicker. I started on the 11th of September 2020 and finished on the 13th of September 2020. I'm so sorry if you can hear the lightning, it just started storming. Now the next piece that I started was by Stitch Rovia, and it was When Life Gives You Lemons. So this one I don't actually have anymore because it was a gift, but I do have a picture. There we go. So this is after it was framed by my uncle as a gift for my grandma. So stitch rovies when life gives you lemons, make a gin and tonic. And I love it. This was also really fun to stitch. Again, I just love the chunks of colour and the way that the shading is done. She's got a lot of beautiful, beautiful patterns. That one was started on the 14th of September 2020 and finished on the 1st of November 2020 and was sent over to WA for Christmas. Now this next piece is also an embroidery. This is one that I whipped up very quickly after we finally closed on our house when we bought it, and it is the picture of me and my fiance in front of the sold sign. So this was again self-drafted. I just took the picture and traced around it and embroidered that using it's just a back stitch, just again on some white cotton duck, and I think it's really cute. Again, super, super quick. It took a day. It was on the 7th of October 2020. Embroidery is just so much faster. And the next piece is again one that I don't have with me because it was a gift. This was a set of Simpsons Minis that I stitched, and this is the picture. So there was 6 minis. These were originally made by Kyle McCoy as Perla Bead Art. Again, I found these on Reddit and I reached out to him and asked for permission to stitch them, and he said absolutely go for it. So I then hand dyed all the fabric again to match the backings. He'd made them into perla beads and then put them on little coloured canvases, and I really liked the colours he picked. So I dyed my fabric to match, and it's just 18 count Aida, and stitched them all up, just colour matching as best I could to the colour of the beads because there was no pattern or anything available. And I gave those to a friend just as a gift for his birthday. But they were really fun to stitch as well. All of these were really fun to stitch. And they didn't take long. I started them in mid-November 2020 and finished up on the 6th of December 2020. So yeah, that is those. Now the next one, this is where my stitching again started to slow down because this is when I got a full-time job. So prior to this I was stitching while I was studying. And this was the first thing I stitched to hang on my desk at my job, which I absolutely hated. I don't work there anymore. And it was this is fine dog. Again, a free pattern from Reddit. This is by Mxandri, so Mxandri. And it's on 18 count Aida. Started on the 14th of January 2021 and finished on the 31st of January 2021. This hung on my desk because I just hated it there and everything was so stressful, and this is how I felt every single day. This next piece I also stitched up to hang on the wall at our house after we moved in. Just a bit tongue-in-cheek, please leave by 9. I just thought it was really cute. This is by Van City Stitch Co. on Etsy. It's on an 18 count. You can't tell very well, but it is a pink Aida. If I put this next to the white, you can kind of see it's very light baby pink Aida, and it's got a bit of pearl shimmer to it as well. Super, super cute. Just hangs in that entranceway. Alright, and that's all the finishes that I've had. I've done a little black work thing before as well. This was just a little portal black work. So you've got some turrets and companion cubes, but I don't remember the name of the designer for this one. So if I can find it, I'll link it in Etsy below. But I do know it was from Etsy. And that's it. That's all my finishes. In terms of progress from last time, what have we done? Not a whole lot, but I'll show you anyway. So from my Star Wars work in progress, I have now gotten to this point. So almost done with all of the writing, getting there with all of the stuff around the two, and then it'll just be backstitch and then it'll be done. But it's actually taken a time out because I have started working on a brand new piece. So last week I showed a Sailor Moon piece by Make It Pink, and this week I have started it. So I've got half of one boot so far. Now, it's a bit hard to tell, but this fabric is green and pink and purple. It's called Fairy Lights. I got it from Sew It All, which is an online retailer in Australia. And it's being stitched as called for on 32 count, 2/2, even weave. So this metallic here, which is what the stars are, is actually Cranic metallic braid. First time I've ever worked with it, and it's better than the DMC metallics I've worked with, but still not the easiest thing in the world. But I'm enjoying stitching on it so far. Again, big chunks of colour, that's what I like to stitch on. All of my whips that I haven't finished are full of confetti, and I just don't like working on them. But yeah, this is going to look really nice when it's done, but it's going to be absolutely huge, so we'll see how that goes. You can see here all of the colours that I have all kitted up for it. They're so pretty together. I love looking at the rings with all the colours. So nice. And this is the Cranic. You can see how sparkly it is. I might have to get a second roll, I'm not sure yet. There's no numbers for the skeins because she actually provides a Excel spreadsheet as well as the pattern with all of the supplies listed. And I don't remember if it said 1 or 2, but the pattern making software she's explained is based on DMC, so it doesn't know how big a Cranic spool is. So we'll see. Hopefully I won't have to order another. And I did have to also order for that pattern a whole bunch of beads. I've never used beads before, so this is just a package of Mill Hill beads. We'll see how we go. I'm not sure. And I did actually buy a couple of things this week. I have bought 2 fun new things. I got a new pair of scissors, which are very pretty. I just got them from Spotlight, which is an Australian retailer. So they're very cute. They're Classe brand. And then I was actually there with my fiance, and he said he wanted to learn to cross stitch. So he picked up this. So this is on 11 count, which will be good for him because he's a little clumsy. And it's just a little Mario pattern. I couldn't pass it up, so I had to get it. So we'll see. I'll update you on his progress as he goes on this one. So that's all my finishes that I've ever had. Not many. Only started stitching a couple years ago. The rain's really coming down now. I hope you guys can't hear that. And my progress from last week. So I will keep you updated as I go. I think this Sailor Moon is actually going to progress quite quickly because all this progress, oh my gosh, the thunder, is 3 days worth of progress, and I haven't stitched on it yet today, and I will today. So we are getting there pretty quickly. It is huge, of course, but you know, we're getting there. So that's everything I have for you today. A pretty short one. That's okay. I didn't think of a lot to say, and I'm also trying to get it done before my fiance comes home from gym. So I would like to do for you at some point soon a little workstation tour. So you can see, I usually stitch in the lounge room on the couch, and I've got a particular frame and setup that I would like to share. So I'll go through that one day once I've sort of figured out how to do some more editing. I'm filming this in OBS, so it makes it really easy because it means that I get to load the pictures in beforehand and I can just swap over to them, and I don't have to do any editing post. All I have to do post is put my intro in. So once I've learned how to sort of take a video and then do a voiceover and do some editing and cut up clips and stuff like that, that is when I will do that. So I'll get to working on that. In my personal life, in personal news, I got a new job recently, and I started that not last week, but the week before. Actually, no, last week. Yeah, I started last week. Today's Sunday. I forgot to say that at the start. It is Sunday, the 17th of July. So I started that last week. So I've been pretty busy just learning everything new. It's a new field that I've never been in before. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And the best part is that it's only it's a 10-minute walk from from home. So I've been walking over to work every day. So that's been really nice. But obviously not in this weather. So yeah, exciting things happening. And that's about everything from me. I can't think of anything else to say, so I'm just trying to fill time now. I will see you all next time. Hopefully in 2 weeks. That's sort of the time frame that I'm looking at, once a fortnight. And that is it from me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. And have a good week.